more time, see if we got anything. Gotta put another question up. I'm be on for an hour and a half this time. I'm doing a two-part today. Um, so we talking about we'll see what we talking about. Say I come back on today. See what I got. Take this thing off real quick. I don't know if I'll get lucky again. We'll see if people on here. Said I come back on. So we got. What's up? How you doing? How you doing? Ah, what you mean ain't seen me in a while? I just came back on. I just got on. I just got on. I just came on just now. Trying to get something going. Just got on. Let me get this question up. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what I got. Well, why are you bored? I think I know what's up. I know what it was. Why you think you're bored? Why are you bored? You had the tidy. Tidy what? Tidy, what does that mean in English? What does that mean in English? I don't understand what the tidy means. Oh, okay, okay. Well, yeah, it's called clean up your room. I know what tidy means. I just ain't used to nobody saying it. That's just something we used to just normally do. So I don't even understand it because I always clean. I got to clean up. That's just part of life. You got to keep stuff clean. No one's gonna do it for you. I don't have maid service. Wish I did. I wish I did. I wish I did have maid service. Your mama did. That's who did. You got some smart aleck stuff to say. I'm gonna have to take you off this chat. You ain't got no questions, and you just come here to troll and make a light of the hat. I'm gonna have to take your butt out of here. So you get one warning. One warning. That seems to be the case. That's just like being a writer. 99 ideas. So what? You got something to say it. If you ain't got nothing to say, you're wasting my time. I don't have time for trolls. I've been wearing it. That's why. Football fan. Now you got something to say it. And people come in here when you're having a conversation with someone, and then they come kind of mess with you, though. Okay. Where you coming from tonight? Yeah, you have to. One thing I notice is that people that are smart, they tend to have a lot of stuff going. Very few people are like asymmetrical. Okay, that's it. Tired of dealing with trolls. I don't know who that turkey was. They gone now. They gone. I'm not dealing with that. Anyway, you want to talk? Let's talk. I don't know who that is, but they no longer here. So, and I don't want no negativity on here. So if anybody wants to talk, let's talk. What is I'm not getting? Trying to see what I got. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I don't even know who that is. I'm doing okay. It's guess the holidays is kicking in. So how are you feeling about that? It's December. It's hard to believe it's December already. Yeah. A year goes by so fast. Seemed like it was just here just a minute ago. Here we are again. Seems like we just had it. And here we are again. Just before you know it. Yeah. I'm hoping that with the coming if the people will have a good time, things to reflect on. Hoping that they will. One can never tell. Anyway, see what we got so far. Keep on talking. I'm looking forward to conversation. Go coming live. Oh, okay. I'm not even that, again, those things come and go. Oh, okay. Where was it by? It's interesting. People, anybody's around, feel free to hit comments, hit likes, subscribes, come on through. I am live. I will be on for, well, it depends on how many people come through. If I don't get a lot of buzz tonight, I'll only be on for like an hour and a half. If I see some action, I'll be on for 2. So right now I'm looking at like an hour to 2. We're gonna see what we're dealing with hour and a half. Excuse me. Pardon me. What's up? I told you I was coming back. I'm doing a 2 for the night. I might not do a 2 for any other time, but I'm doing a 2 for the night. I had to do some videos. Did you see my last 2 videos I did? If you haven't, I'll tell you about them. I did 2 videos. I dressed Elton John. Elton John going blind. And I did the Jokic video. They're up. They're up. T. So I got those 2 videos done. Jokic and Elton John. Yeah, I just did a video. And you know, I called him the best player going today, and he's bad, but I said he's not in Shaq's territory. He's not in Wilt. He's not Kareem and Russell. So anybody got a problem, feel free to come on through. The best team in the West. And I did a video about SGA the other day. My Shea Case video was up. I like Shea. I think he got a chance to be as great as Durant and Westbrook, MVP worthy, maybe even better. I like Shea a lot. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not gonna touch it right now. He always does. I mean, that's not a surprise. Listen, November, December, January, James Harden, we want to see what you do May, April, and June. We know what you can do early part. He could still play. Who thought he couldn't play? You gotta remember something. As long as you can shoot the outside shot and you can jelly roll, he good. I like LaMelo. And I do think there will be a move, but I hope he goes to the Clippers or somewhere. He goes somewhere that he can shine. Or I like LaMelo. I think he got a nice touch. Only with an upcoming team, though, a young team. I did a video on him. I did videos on him. But yeah, I just got through doing the Jokic video. So what you mean he needs to win? He's just a fresh puppy. He can't win if he can't nothing to work with. He's going through the same problems Kimball Walker did there. You don't play in Charlotte to win. You put up numbers, you get hurt, and then you know that it's time to play the lottery bowl by January 1st. You know the routine. I like Sapp. He was a great player for his time. I like that he's working with Deion Sanders now. He was real. Some things I didn't agree with everything, but most of the time, man, Sapp was cool with me. I liked his book. Thought he was Candid Cat. Um, mm, I hated when he went to the Raiders though. That was sad. Why Woodson was a bad dude. Only because of the likes of the Deions and the Daryl Greens of the world. Woodson was a bad dude. Dude could burn. Thank you for coming through and appreciate you being here earlier. Daryl Green was one of my favorites growing up as a kid. That cat could fly. He was a standard. He was a standard. He was one of my favorites. We already talked about Roethlisberger. Let's talk about safeties and stuff. I ain't got nothing to say about Ben. Ben won. Ben won. He was great for his time. Probably the greatest Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback in my personal opinion. I just don't like him personally, but he was, you know, he came up big. But Daryl Green was the truth, though. Daryl Green was a beast. Anybody that could run down Tony Dorsett and Eric Dickerson in their prime, you a bad man. Bad man. Ali wins. Oh, you're back now. Yeah, you remember I was coming back. Ali. Tyson never fought the complex fighters that Ali did. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Ali fought the Ken Nortons, who was unorthodox, Joe Frazier, George Foreman. Those guys were unorthodox. Tyson never went against those kind of guys in his peak, in his prime. Not that, not the versatile nature of those guys. No. Mm-mm. Yeah, Ken Norton would have beaten Tyson too. Ken Norton was unorthodox, physical, strong, and he was unorthodox. There was so many different ways the guys fought back then you couldn't even begin to imagine. Tyson was bad, but those guys back then, that level of heavyweight fighting, you got to fight George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton. Are you kidding me? Senior, those guys. Sonny Liston wasn't nothing to sneeze at. No, technique wins over strength, yo. You didn't really pay attention to what I said. I said who Ali fought against. I said the technique. Those guys were brutes, but he fought them differently. He had to prepare for Norton, who hit him with was unorthodox. Foreman hit you with power. Frazier was power, but they were body, but they were different types of fighters. So he prepared differently for those guys. It's not the same. Not the same. Being stronger doesn't mean that you're gonna beat guys, because it's a mental. Strength wins some most of the time, but don't win all the time. Dan Campbell, yo. Are you kidding me? Because if they go and run the table, Dan Campbell. But you got to give Mike Tomlin strong consideration too. No one saw Pittsburgh being that way. No one saw that. That's pretty impressive. Mm. So those two come to mind. Excuse me. Those two come to mind for me. Campbell and Tomlin. No one saw that coming. Mm-mm. No, because you asked me a question and you're trying to give me an answer when I answer the question. Mike Tyson's era was more competitive. Guys like Tyson, you could be a brute, but they got guys who beat you in different ways. Couldn't just beat somebody without beating them. And let me throw this one at you for a caveat, just to put this in perspective. Tyson fought, he lost 3 years of his career. It still was like the equivalent of 12. So 64 to 1980, 17 years. So if you take 3 off, he still almost fought 15 years, even with 3 off, right? Mike Tyson fought from 85 to 97, but his real peak was really 85 to about 90. Ali's real peak would have been probably from 64, 65 to about 75, 74, 75, and he fought more fights. So how he gonna develop quicker? Foreman, mid-70s, Ken Norton, mid-70s, Joe Frazier from 71 onward. Yeah, but he was done, if you ask me, after he fought, uh, the fight against Razor Ruddock and the Buster Douglas loss. Yeah, I wouldn't even call him a 10-year fighter. He was a decent fighter after he got out of prison. He lost 3, I'll give you that. But he wasn't exactly blowing people away, prior to that. Yeah, I was already live today, and I decided to do a 2 for today. I'm on for another hour and a half. So for those who missed me, I'm back. It's 2 different fights that you're asking me because they're not the same. Mhm. I mean, the Wilder Tyson beef, I mean, yeah. Well, Buster got fat and was sloppy, got his butt tore up. It makes no difference. A street fight and boxing and UFC is 2 different fights, yo. And I don't know. What you're asking is kinda hard to propose because I don't know. It's different types of fights. Different types of fights. You're asking me about street fighting guys that using fisticuffs. It's a whole different ball game. And depends on who the UFC fighter was. I don't know. Depends on what Tyson was dealing with. I don't know. I don't care what he has to say. That's why he's sitting his fat butt down right now because he can't get no job because nobody gonna touch him or his overrated brother. Going on them for what? Because their offense was inept. They didn't lose the game because they were sloppy. They just got outmanned. What's he going on about? They didn't lose the game because Justin Tucker's all his kicks and that. They got outmanned. They got beat. What's he going on about? Well, it's a mixture. Again, it's different. It's just like when I watched Floyd Mayweather against Conor McGregor. It's 2 different styles of fighting. It's not fair to compare because you're gonna look embarrassing on one style and they're gonna look embarrassing on the other. So it don't really work. I don't know what Rex Ryan is going on about. The Ravens are a step off, though. If you want to get technical, they are a step off. And what a step off means, the way they lost to Kansas City, the games they've lost, they've been manhandled. Pittsburgh beat them, got physical with them. They don't really pound you. So when you were talking about the Wildcat offense with them, they tend to get beat by not sticking it. They're a young team, yo. I like DeMarco, the coach, but they're a young team. I watched Strauss. I like Stroud, but he's young. He's green. He's a kid. He's a kid. He throws some bad picks. They don't really show me the depth right now to go next, quite next level. It's about another year or two. They in a soft division. And they need to go ahead and finish it off because they really only got the Colts to worry about, but they not there yet. They're a young team. Not bad, but they're not where they need to be. No, they're not. No, they're not. Because the Bills 3 years ago got beat in the second round. Let's go back, okay, shall we? The Bills lost last year to um Kansas City, second round. 2 years ago, got spanked by Cincinnati. 3 years ago, the Bills lost to Kansas City in that wild game where Josh Allen went off. Texans ain't showed me that. Mm-mm, mm. The Bills underachieved. Texans ain't underachieved. They're undeveloped. They need to have another kick to what they got. They're not there yet. The Bills were a better team 3 years ago. He's supposed to say that. What's he gonna say? He's undefeated. He retires undefeated champion. What were he supposed to say? Do I agree with that? That's truly subjective. It's hard to say. But I will say this, he dominated for his era. You can't take nothing away. I will never take nothing away from what that man did. Well, it all depends on how you look at it. I mean, but it's two different styles of fighting. He was a defensive fighter, which was unique, and he was one of one. But I can't sit here and tell you that, he was great for his era. Remember, people can be great for their time. Stop acting like it's the end all be all because everyone has different rules for different situations. That's why I don't like these all time lists and greats because the problem that you run into is that someone will say, "What about my era?" Well, everybody's era looked at things differently. And did Floyd fight against the best talent for his era? Or were they necessarily the guys that you could put up in the same argument? Again, weight, era, it's different. But what he's done is remarkable for his era. I will give him that. But we can't compare. He underrated because he was strong. He was a brute. No, I'm not going. No, there is steroids involved. There's no clean in no boxing. What are you talking about? It's not clean. They've had guys who've done stuff. They've guys who've been high. There was a fighter named Aaron Pryor because I remember when he fought a guy named Michael Weaver, and he ran out the ring. He didn't come out the side of the corner. He ran out. They found out he was on some juice. No, it's nothing clean about it. Some of these cats be high, and then they've been suspensions for taking bad tests and stuff. It's no sport that's 100%. Yeah, you can get a UA cup done. They've busted people. People have been busted, yo. No one's exempt. So whoever told you that didn't tell you the truth, or you didn't do no research on it, because they've had cats, you name it, they've had bad UAs. They've had bad UAs. No one's been exempt. Please continue to hit the like, subscribe, come on through, hit this poll question. Are you getting a passport and leaving the USA? Because you ain't feeling the coming party coming in. What you say, yes or no. Please cast your vote today. We got a live cast of crew of people, so feel free to answer questions. Come on back, come on back. I am ready and I am listening. See if people on here, what have you. Yeah, well, yeah, Ted. Hope you didn't get upset. But no, they're not the Bills of 3 years ago. I don't know. I don't know because it's Cats been taking all kinds of amphetamines and stuff, so I don't know. If you can get away with it, they got something there for everybody. So I don't know. Horse racers be caught with drugs. So the guy that ran the horses was busted. So I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think there's one. I know that if they one can try, they all can try. Believe me, there's always something going on. So I don't know. So what's up? I don't know how old you are, and I don't know how in tune you are in the pro sports, but it's been going on forever and a day. I mean, they've been busting everything. Amphetamines, the way they work them out, the way they do them. I mean, um, they gotta perform at a high level to get paid this amount of money. So stuff has been going on. It's the owners. It's an auction block. You know. Okay, well, that's still old enough to know that if you've been watching sports, that you got to understand that it is a business, right? Cats get paid incentives. They get paid to perform at a high level. So they're going to do whatever it takes to get an edge. I'm just saying, if you have never heard anyone talk about it, so I want to tell you, it's big business. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat that because that's a fact. And they start them off young. You could Google it. You don't have to believe me. You can Google it and see if you type in athletes and steroid use or drug use and why they have had to tell them in all sports about that because they've been warned in every sport. So it's real. It's got to do with just asking. It's a fact. I remember being told as a kid that athletes didn't do this and do that, but that's a lie. They have ways around doing stuff. So I'm gonna say about that. But you entitled to think what you want. Mhm. Okay, let me throw a curveball at you. How do you separate the business interest from the hardcore top level pros in any sports? The business interest? The business interest is always about making money. The business interest is about the bottom line. There's so many times people would rather make the dollar than they worry about if they win or they lose. So the interest level is always about the loot. That's the reality. The top levels in the pros is the one that's got the most interest and the most money. That's the reality. There is no friends and there's no but that's how it is. It's about the loot. That's how I would tell you. Quantum fire by telling you about the money. So that's how you look at it. That's how we do it. Okay, where everybody at now? Come on now, let's get some questions going. I'm about to get quiet now. They don't care. It's not that I know more, they just don't care. See, baseball had a steroid issue and they supposedly illegally cleaned it up. It never really went away. You gotta remember something. If someone can get away with something, they will do it. It's just a matter of not getting caught doing it. The general public buys what is being sold all the time, you know. But there's always the elephant in the room and there's always the what if and what have you. People get busted all the time. Lance Armstrong got busted at the Tour de France for bicycling. Baseball went through it, football went through it, basketball's had it, horses have had it. You see, if you read, it's all there. Not making this up. Type in steroid use in sports and different and why they got laws. It's been in all forms of every sport. It's not nothing that I just haven't. It's been there. It's just that people choose not to read it. They choose to ignore it. And they really don't care. They only care when someone is making that face like, oh, and then someone goes down, but they don't really know. Denver, Denver better win because if they don't win this game, then their playoffs are done. Cleveland, it gonna be feisty. Jameson could be a problem, but Denver needs this game tonight. Denver needs it. If they lose this game tonight, they taking a big dip. So 86%. That's how I'm looking at it. I think it's a big game for the Denver Broncos tonight. But if Cleveland spoils them, they in trouble. The Broncos are kind of like the Vikings of the AFC because you really don't know if they're that good. You really ain't got a for certain sign of where they really are, but they could be a dangerous team or they could be a quick one and done. Big game. All right, please continue to hit the likes and subscribes and everything that's going on. 75% saying they're getting a passport and jetting. Okay, anybody coming through? Waiting, waiting, waiting. I'm hoping to get some more questions. People going kind of low key. I'm just waiting. As I always states the problem says, you know, unless you accept the most helpfully so enhanced by you see. Um, I'm not saying everybody does it, but they have rules and regulations for people not to. But it has been a problem. And I'm not saying that most are. There's a lot that does go on though. So don't put words in my mouth. I just said that it has been documented that a lot did do it. A reason why I said golf was tough is because you have to hit the club, you have to hit the ball, have to have it placed, and you have to be really good and accurate. And it can embarrass you if you hit the ball in the water and you're not good. It's not an easy sport by no stretch of the imagination. Not the toughest sport in the world. The toughest sport is still to hit a baseball. But golf is pretty enduring. Um, I'm sure there are golfers who have tested positive. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. The sport itself tends to keep themselves clean because they're selling a facade and imagery, though. That's all I'm saying. So, no sport. All I'm saying is no sport has not had people not even attempting to not do something. They've had to tell everyone in some form of capacity. I'm not saying that there's not this widespread going on, but it has been known. Athletes try anything like anybody else would. Athletes are no different than school students. If they think they can get away with something, they'll do it. So you take it the way you want to take it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Alright. Let me put it to you like this. If you were, let me read this real quick. If you on the spot, if you was a top athlete in a physical sport and there's a chance you would do steroids, the roids were there. Depends on who you are. But cats are tempted all the time. They tempted all the time. That's the only way I can say it. Devin Hester. Because Devin Hester, Devin Hester was like the Mike Tyson of kickoff returns. I can't begin to tell you now. Prime time, I was most hyped about because they were fun when he started dancing. But Devin Hester, yo, I still remember the Super Bowl. I was making a sandwich and I didn't even get to sit down. And that cat was gone. He did that quick. Metcalf was bad too, but prime time made them fun because prime times were more returns, which were fun. But Hester though, Hester was mind blowing. Yeah, well, it depends on what kind of, again, depends on what your situation is like. And you put a lot of loot, you'd be surprised. What are your views on TV subscriptions for baseball? Well, growing up when people used to rent pay-per-view, people do what they want to be entertained. So that's nothing new. Except back in the day, people used to go to the cable company and rent the box to go watch it. But it's an addictive situation. So yeah, well, again, that was a different era. The cheapest way though is to buy you an app and then you have access and then you pay for what you want. It's done, but they probably still got it out there. They got some form of it though. They change what they want and then they don't. But pay-per-view been the same pretty much forever and a day. Yeah, well, apps are cheaper and then they connect you to a different pipeline, and then there's deals involved and stuff like that. So I get it. Again, there's gonna be a day and time that life that you knew it 20 years ago is gonna be obsolete. So I'm not shocked or surprised. Doesn't bother me. Well, I've been asked these questions before. I mean, I liked Ali a lot growing up. He was one of my favorites. Had respect for Jackie Robinson, though he predated me. I was admired when I could get a Jackie Robinson card. I like, you know, most of the people that were stood for something, that they were about something. Dusty Baker was someone that I admired growing up. Barry Bonds in my late teens, early 20s. I dug Bonds. I mean, like Dion a lot. Lawrence Taylor, who's a cousin, big fan of his. I mean, it all depends on how you're looking at it. I had different, people that I liked and admired. Blown away by Bo Jackson. He was incredible. Um, Reggie Jackson. I like Reggie so much I used to eat his nasty candy bar. Glad you're back, T. My cousin Lawrence has underrated skill that he commanded the whole respect of the entire other football team. Because the fact is that he won games. People don't understand when say someone says dominate, they're not just talking about you manhandling and you imposing your will. I mean, he won games for the Giants. I don't think people understand how cold he was, how he played his linebacker position. He won games for the Giants. Basically, he caused a fumble or a turnover or a sack, or he just was such a physical presence. Yeah, beat a lot of quarterbacks. I still remember that night when he cracked Joe Theismann's leg in Monday Night Football game. So I got a lot of memories of how dominant he was, and he was dominant. Tennis to an extent, and cricket. It all depends on what you're into. Bonds' dominance on both sides because he made his teammates better. Jeff Kitt got an MVP. Guys who played with Bonds got paid, and that was Richard Rillier. That's what Bonds' strength was. Baseball is different. It's different because teams get more glory. If you play for the Yankees, Dodgers, Cardinals, Giants, it's different. It's more sport. They don't do that stuff in baseball. But if you are a 3,000 hit and you do like Derek Jeter, then you get considered one of the greatest Yankees and Babe Ruth and all that. It's different in baseball. Well, baseball, you don't have to. Football, you don't really. No one puts Barry Sanders, Moss, and T are not top 10 all time NFL players, I don't think. I don't think. Of those three, Barry Sanders would have an argument. Of those three. Of those three. I'd recommend you working out, period. You don't have to have a gym. I have workout equipment in my house. I got a medicine ball. You don't have to have a gym in the gym. You don't have to go to the gym to work out. You can buy you some weights. You can do a lot of exercises just in your own personal facility of your home. You know, if you don't want to work out, you don't have to go to a gym. We had the lockdowns. I bought equipment to exercise in, so you don't need that. You can buy yourself stuff. Get you a medicine ball. Get you some weights. Put them in a backpack. You can go walking. I think in the NBA you got a better chance, but that's not to say it's easier because Allen Iverson thought he was gonna go to more finals and he didn't. But you got a better chance of winning the NBA, I think. I think you do. Yeah, I would probably say you got a better chance. If you're talking about the 3 majors, then yeah. Football is tough because you might not ever see it if you don't play your cards right. In baseball, I seen guys, 10 different teams win, you never on the team. I don't go to no gym. I do, I'm exercise at home. I've had friends who do that, but that's not my thing. And if I go to socialize, you go there to talk to a woman or you're trying to flex, but who you flexing for? So no, I don't do that. Mm-mm. And I know cats get in their feelings and people be acting and role playing. I'm not with that. Mm-mm. Shoot. Okay, so I got some more questions. So come on, hit me up, hit me up. Yeah, I got nothing to say about that. I just say be safe, be careful, but I don't mess with Jim. So he did what he's supposed to do. I had a poll question. You weren't here just now. I did ask that poll. I haven't got no problem with it. Nepotism. He's supposed to take care of his son. I see Trump don't like it. I said, yeah, but when you get in there, you're gonna get all your ruckus. Yeah. So they all do it. I ain't got no problem with it. I did eat meat a long time ago in a past life. I don't do it no more. I stop. No, because what you do is that you get protein iron, which you can take tablets and pills. You can do different things. You just have to go about stuff. I am awake. I'm waiting on somebody to say something, Samuel. Big Bills fan. Thank you, Ted. Are you talking about the Joe Biden, what he did to hook up his son? I ain't got no problem with it. Got no problem at all. Not at all. He did what he's supposed to do. Because when they get in there, they're allowed to hook up everybody they want to hook up, which it is the job. You do hook up. That's a good question. What was his underrated skill? Um, I think that he took direction. He understood his task better as he went on. He got smarter. So I think that he understood the task at hand better. I will say that about him. That's my thoughts on Steve Young. I wasn't the biggest Steve Young fan, but he did win and he came up big when he had to. Why would they phase me? Because it's a lot of it is acting. So if you watched wrestling on TV, that's what they are. If you didn't watch actors, that's what they are. So why is it gonna phase me? And I'm not saying to be facetious or being smart, but there's not much to them. They tell people what they want to hear, and then when it comes in, they bring the doom and gloom. People thinking they getting over, and then what ends up happening is they end up paying the price for who they messing with. No, because Trump's gonna pardon Trump. That's what he's doing now. The Supreme Court had already said that he can't be can't hold him accountable for what he's doing. So they said, well, either when he's out or if they drop it. So that's what he signed up. So no, he's gonna self get that to anoint that. It's crazy. So he doesn't feel like he has anything to worry about, and they've already whitewashed it. If you haven't seen that, then you need to do some reading because they've already told Trump he ain't gonna have nothing to worry about when he's sitting in there. Nothing. He just typical. What I'm supposed to have a pet peeve about a guy that's pretty typical. He got Charlie Sheen pet peeves. He's really no different than Charlie Sheen. Got complexion for the protection to do what he want to do. They're they're different fruits. True politicians work to get in office. Community leaders work so they can take care of the community. Big difference. Charlie Sheen did too. So did Hunter Biden. What's the difference? If you notice the names I mentioned, you can Google it. Google be your friend, and then you can say, "Hey, yeah, you kind of on to something. Hey, how you doing, Charlene? Glad to have you aboard. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much." There's not a lot of difference. That's why I mentioned Charlie Sheen and I mentioned Hunter Biden. I could have mentioned Robert Downey Jr. if I wanted to. When you have an addiction and you're addicted to stuff and you have other things going on, it's all tied together. It's all community based, but then it's also big government. So they are allowed to work on another tier from what community leaders do. They're upper echelon. So they work their behinds to DC. They working in the next phase. Community leaders are guarding the area. The politicians are guarding the world. The country is a big difference. So there's a difference between the two. But they stay out of localized politics. 67% says they're getting the passport and leaving. Okay. Yeah, there's a difference between you know, working with your community and then, there's a difference. I don't think about them, but they're no different than they're the ones who got in Trump's ear. They're the ones that springboarded him. Everybody in that industry is two-faced. So there is no straight faces in that line. They all work together, they all hang together, and they've all done business together. Yep. I mean, Bill and Bill and Trump was hanging out on Epstein, so you take it how you want to take it. They was buddies. They might play, like they don't know each other now. It wasn't always the case. Tell the truth. That's what he could do, but that's not gonna happen. Yeah, he was on Arsenio Hall, had the shades on. Mhm. I mean, he was a tactful cat for that time. He went to Arsenio. He played up the role of what he was doing. That's what they do. Yeah, politicians they just have to be honest. That ain't gonna happen. Um, Only if Diddy drops a big fish. He got to drop a big fish. But if you're asking me based on public sway right now, he's not gonna do nothing with him. He leave him out there to dry. Well, his tone was dusty too, but that's another story. But the point is that he marketed himself to an audience that was baby boomers, which was a smart, tactful move. He used the right audience. He appealed to Arsenio. He appealed to a certain demographic. That's what got him over. You gotta have appeal. He was slick, but that's what got him over. You gotta know how to have game. You gotta have charisma. Gotta have some personality. People will be bedazzled if you got some style and charm. So there you go. No, he just did what he trying to be a cool cat. And that's what he was doing. Besides, he had that girlfriend named Jennifer Flowers with a G. That's more impressive. He was macking and stacking. Now ain't no reverse. He did do it. He would be cosplay right now too. He thought he was slick. He thought he was slick. He didn't do anything. He did everything that he. Yeah. Oh, I remembered it. But no one talks about his sister soldier called his behind out, and she got downplayed for calling him out. Yeah, he did all. He tried to be down, talking about he always had a rap phase. He always had something slick to say. He was a slickster. I did not have sex with that woman. What you mean what? What? What you mean what? What's your what? You talking about Sister Soldier? Or you talking about when he denied about him and Monica Lewinsky? Oh, well, yeah. Shoot. He had a black man who hooked him up, a guy named Ron Brown, light skinned brother with a mustache. Google Ron Brown, write it down. Ron Brown was huge. Vernon Jordan was huge for him too. I still remember when Vernon Jordan put that big one on Hillary. Sister Soldier had that album out. Sister Soldier met him out there in them streets and was asking him about about how what he was about, and he tried to run from her. And they downplayed Sister Soldier. She has books out still too, by the way. Oh, I just remember stuff. That's all. And I remember how they got down, all that stuff, all his antics. You know. But she know he was named William Jefferson Clinton, and he ran Arkansas, and he was touching and pinching everything in sight like a fruit platter, you know. He also against the welfare and also the bills, the same bills that Joe Biden signed. They were all down together. See, people always think these people are so liberal and open minded. And Bill Clinton used to be a Republican too. So I try to tell people there ain't no difference in these parties, but no one try to hear you though. Dixiecratic is no different than Republicratic. Just think about it. But you thinking that these cats is different. Ain't no different. Okay, now 67% says that they rolling. Waiting, 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 waiting. Where everybody go? Come on now. And slowly. I mean, he gonna be okay. First of all, if you're a rookie quarterback, it's gonna take 2, 3 years of growing pains. If I'm Bryce Young, I call up Kyler Murray because that's who he should channel. That's who he should channel. You know, and then you learn how to pick your spots when you're quarterbacking. Improvising. The running game they build, the things that they do. He played good yesterday. They should have beat Tampa Bay. He just got to stay away from being careless and making terrible mistakes and don't lose his job again. But he should be okay. So I think he got a chance to be better. Carolina's lucky because they play in a putrid division, so he might catch a break. He might. I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this: he can't do no worse than Baker Mayfield. Because I'm gonna say this about him: he been benched, but I think um, I ain't got no problem with it as long as he don't talk crazy about them being a playoff team. I'm okay. As long as he don't talk crazy, I'm okay with it. Well, community leaders and the black church is two different entities. I mean, black church represents a certain foundation. Community leaders, it's a two different tality. So it's kind of not fair to really lump that in a lap because they're in two different fields. Community leaders is going to represent a certain segment that the black church is going to represent a segment. Two different entities. So I don't quite understand that question because you're asking me to put, they're going to defend their territory. So. But Michael Parsons podcast, I'm not gonna really put a lot of stock in him. Okay. For the benefits for the community leaders are gonna try to seek out better value for the community, more safer grounds. The black church is looking for like a foundation where they're trying to get repairs or different things. So they mean different things. Again, two different tangibles involved. Depends if it's in the same community, but still hits different. The Vikings, I don't know what to make of them. Can't tell if they're 10-2 or a team that's masquerading at 6-6 because they come across kind of slidey at times. Yeah, but even if they are dangerous, they still need a more cohesive offense. They're not good enough to just rely on getting by. And they didn't beat nobody yesterday, so please don't say that. They didn't beat nobody yesterday. Beat up on an old man throwing a pick six, 92 yards. I'm sorry, I can't get excited. The way they looked against Arizona, I'll give you. But they could have lost that game to the Rams, so they are their record, by the way. But I don't know about them being dangerous in a year or two. You must got a crystal ball. I don't see it. He did the best he could. That's where he's at. That's why he won't come back to the Jets next year. They lost a head coach. They made trades and they ain't got the fit. Cause I do it on here for free. I don't. First of all, broadcasting they want you to. I'm not gonna sit there and lie. Some of these games be too whack. What broadcasting? What NFL games? Those games, some games be brutal. Basketball, I can't tolerate it. It's just too bad. So I just do streams and I talk on here. I wouldn't want to work for them networks when they making you have to sign a non-disclosure and have to lie about these people. No, he's done. He's done. And the reality is set in. But if I was to broadcast, I'd have to have it where I told you it's like motivational speaking. I had to have it where financially where it would make sense and had to be something that I'd consent to. So I've never had anyone push no money on me to do it. So that's one of the reasons why I never considered it. Because you got to have something that would be viable and worth it to do it. But I don't like the games I see enough to want to do it no way. Yeah, you got to be very careful what you say. They want you to be straight laced. There's things that they're privy to. That's why Tom Brady got a stipulation in his deal now as a Raider owner. He can't go into the other locker and he can't. They got rules, yo. What you think? You just getting in because you got your degree and they're going to let you grab a mic and you'll say what you want. They see stuff all the time. They have to, you know, it's a business. Right? It's kind of how we are with it. So, mhm. Well, yeah, it's a business. You see things all the time. It's like those award shows. You think those guys, the people who present them awards, aren't aware of the circumstances and the people in the audience and the names? It's business, y'all. You're working for corporate. You're working for corporate America. They suit and tie you. They feed you. They fly you, and they expect you to play the game. So that's what's up. You learn the game one way or the other. No, no. Them days is long gone. Long gone. You just hope that you get some kind of honesty and you get something that you can kind of flow on, but no. So no. Got this done quick. Nope. 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 Okay, now. Should we get some questions going? People don't think I'm falling asleep because people don't talk no more. People get quiet. I guess y'all getting all comfortable. Well, I don't consider myself old as we speak now. Um, Same reason I wouldn't do it now. It wasn't part of what I wanted to do. Wasn't interested in it. Sometimes you just figure out where you're originally where I was born. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if he will or he won't. You think he deserves a pass? Because I don't. I don't think he deserves a pass. I don't think they were gonna do nothing this year, no way. If they go and win, I'm okay. Well, thank you for coming through. Glad to have you on board, and I'll see you again soon. I might come back tomorrow. I might. That'd be my only probably time this week. So I don't know if he's figured it out. What they're doing is they're playing smart football. I don't know if they figured it out. I haven't seen anything that says they figured it out. So you must be seeing something I'm not. They look like a team that is still standing. They're winning games. Fortunately for them, they don't have to worry about Cincinnati, but they may have a Pittsburgh and in case Kansas City situation. But most of the teams they can kind of beat. But I don't know if they figured it out. Their defense does enough. If they run the ball enough, they got a chance. But I don't know if we figured it out though. Yeah, but he's still throwing some picks though, and he hasn't really had a game where he's had to like really set it off. So again, I don't know. We'll see. I hope so. But I want him to win. I don't want him to go to the Super Bowl. I want him to win. He go to Super Bowl, you got to go ahead and win. He is underrated. That I agree. He don't get enough. He was balling last night. That's the key. That's the key. So that's the key. Yeah. Well, like I said before, you know, I'm going to see what happens in the postseason. I'm not going to say nothing until the time comes. They got the makings of a team that should go, and that's the problem right there. They give up too much on the ground because McCaffrey got stole up by the snow. He was getting ready to run on them last night. They beat the 49 last night, but they're gonna give up a lot last night. They were on the cusp. I'm not arguing with you. Did you hear me argue? Did you hear me argue? Did you hear me say otherwise? Patrick Mahomes is hard to bet against. As flawed as they are 11-1. Let that sink in. Buffalo and caught breaks played this way in that one, still chasing Kansas City. So until you beat the champ, you waiting to beat the champ. You ain't beat them yet. So as a Bills fan, it's tough to watch dominance because we had to go 20 years of dominance with Brady, and then you got another dominance with Mahomes. So it's like, man, this thing don't never end. Pittsburgh could beat everybody when it's all said and done because Russell Wilson is balling. He played like that last night. They're gonna be a handful. That could be a problem. Period. I mean, like I said, Mike Tomlin got them believing they got nothing to lose playing with house money. So. Yeah, yeah. Coleman's good. But Ted brought up a good point. You can beat Kansas City, but you got to do it for 60 minutes. You can't talk about it for 59, 58, 59, 57. You got to be 60 minutes. Pittsburgh can only beat Kansas City, if they get them into making turnovers and getting sloppy. But if Kansas City plays their brand of football, it's tough to beat them. If he gets the right talent around him, the right coach around him, the right structure, then yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, he could be a double junior whopper, Kyler Murray, but he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay. Because if he can make it through this year, I think he'll be okay. It's a lot. Oprah, of course, because she's the bigger name and the bigger brand. Chris Rock is a hired hand. He's not going to be a threat. He's not a threat. No, the one saying Chris Rock don't understand totality. You got to understand totality. When you say bigger, that's the word. Chris Rock is not bigger than Oprah Winfrey. He can't possibly be align himself up with anybody that can do you in. Oprah can do some stuff to do you in. There's the difference. Carolina's problem is the lines got to get better on both sides. They got the receivers, the core, just common sense stuff. First of all, they play in a chump division, okay? So let's get that out the way. And second of all, you ain't got to do a lot in that division. You just got to get consistency. You think that division is really that difficult? Let me break it down to you if I can go into my thesis right here. Derek Carr, another team. Kirk Cousins, another team. Baker Mayfield, another team. You see where I'm going? So that's not exactly, and you're talking about young cats. Carr's a little bit older, but Kirk Cousins a little bit older. But these cats, and they also on the end of their reel too. So he's got a promising future. If you play halfway okay, just average, that's 6, 7 wins. Baker sucks. That's why. And I'm gonna be kind to you. Tell you like this. You don't like it, you can hit the side door. I am not giving Mayfield no pass. He sucked yesterday. He sucked yesterday. The only reason why they won that game is uh because Carolina stinks. They should have beaten them yesterday. He threw 2 bad picks. He did have Evans back. Yeah, and what you want a cookie? You going to overtime against a 3-10 team. You struggling. You trying to get to 500 and they had your butt dangling. Bryce Young outplayed him yesterday. They If they can get to 6 wins, they should have a 1 block parade. If they get to 6, I dare them to win 3 more games. But that's how pitiful Tampa Bay is because they were struggling with him. Cats up here trying to act like Baker Mayfield doing something. He ain't doing nothing but trying to save his job. That division has got nothing but everybody's rejects. Okay? Baker Mayfield's a reject. Kirk Cousins is a reject. Derek Carr is a reject. Okay? So Bryce Young, and you get on the ball, you got a chance to be the first or something. Because you got benched for a reject in Andy Dalton. Yeah, well, they got 1 more win, so we'll see. I said 6 games, it'd be a half a block parade. Yeah, they need to get a game first. Would he get an extension in his hair? Yeah, I follow court cases. Of course, like everybody else, I'll be following the Diddy case. And I saw the young thug one out of Atlanta. I watch different cases if they got interesting situations. If they don't, I don't waste my time. I am curious about the Mendez brothers. They probably get out. But yeah, I don't waste my time talking about Baker Faker. I don't know. See, I don't know. I don't know. Because Dallas wins games like that. If you suck worse than they do, they might beat you. And right now, they are worse than Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised if that game be a 3-3 tie, but I don't know. Yeah, Trayvon Martin was no justice there. So now, yeah, Ted mentioned that earlier. First couple. I think it's gonna be something crazy. Right. 60% say yes for the okay. That's a good poll question. I think he's got a lot of pressure on him. Okay, well, I see some people, so we'll see. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I don't know what that means. Mm, I don't know how explosive they are. They didn't really beat Frisco up like they could have. I don't really think they've been explosive. I think they playing within what they've getting. I don't look at them as explosive. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I don't even know who I could tell you is the most explosive team I've seen, if I'm honest. But it ain't the Bills. Detroit had a moment of it, but they kind of cooled off. I don't know. Yeah. They didn't beat nobody though, but they did what they supposed to do. But they didn't beat nobody, Ted. I mean, Joe Burrows gives you 10 points and he throws 20, then he gives you back to 10. I don't know. They didn't play nobody. Cincinnati's defense is horrible. Well, first of all, he got to get to a Super Bowl. So you don't trust him. Jim Kelly went to 4 Super Bowls. Well, he hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl yet. And Jim Kelly still got that over him. Um, the only thing is that sometimes he comes to come across kind of like corny and some of his choices on the field, you know, and he gets kind of like it's all football related. He was arrogant in Denver and he got turned down a pig. So now he's in Pittsburgh. He's kind of, he's gotten a little bit better. No, well, being a cornball ain't gonna make me. No, I think I like Russ. I think Russ should be a Hall of Famer. I don't really have anything bad to say about him. He's in a win-win situation in Pittsburgh, so he plays it out. We'll see. Can't really say anything bad about him. It's just that if him and Pete Carroll try to be cute, he could have been looking like a precursor to Patrick Mahomes, and people have forgotten how great he was. But some of that's on him. Borderline, he should be, but I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. The NFL Hall of Fame is a different animal. I think he was the most talented person they had on their defense. But again, It's a lot of politics involved. I still remember that time he jumped over that center and blocked that kick. Cam was a freak, but it's different. Well, he turned into because he was a quarterback, but that's a borderline. But he could be. Mm, she's gotten better. I like the weave. The weave be making it look a lot more point. I give you that with the weave. The weave did wonders. But I don't know if I say fine. Ashanti is fine. Sierra is good. She good. But Ashanti's fine, yo. I'm talking about that Ashanti. Because that's what she do. Earl was bad. Yeah, Angela Bassett's timeless, yo. Angela Bassett's timeless. I saw somewhere she was dancing recently, and she's timeless. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna be on here for 3 more minutes before I roll it. But yeah, that Seahawk team was something else, though. They were something else. If I get one more like, I get that. Yeah, I get one more like up on here. One more like, where you at? I saw it. I saw what he said about him. I tend to like Beast Mode interviews. Barry's an intelligent dude. Yeah, well, you had to like Lynch because you got to understand the mentality of a running back, especially with what he had overcome and how pivotal he was. I like Marshawn a lot. I even watched his movie. It was real hood too. I do. I got much respect for Marshawn. And I told you he became more popular in Seattle. That's the trip out thing. For all that whitewashing they tried to do, he ended up carrying more juice than the quarterback. Yep. I lived in that area, so I know. But they end up liking him now. He ended up be getting more love though. Go figure. Well, it's after the fact that they ran him out. He got ran out. He had to deal with the racist cops and all that. And it didn't fit. It wasn't a good fit because they didn't have the right quarterback in the system. That's what messed it all up. They just didn't have the right system. I can't have no problem with him because he went somewhere where they had the right quarterback in the system. So he didn't die there because of. All right. Well, he didn't care for him, and he knew what Pete Carroll was trying to do. They all did, you know. It didn't end like it should have gone. So, He was. I lived I was there, and they were very divided over him. The defense couldn't stand him. It's kinda like the Dallas Cowboys situation, except Seattle actually won something. There's the difference. When you win something, you it doesn't quite get mentioned to the media. Well, see, now the problem is that he is accountable, but the problem was he treated them like they were like lucky, like they were field hands because him and that general manager got them cats for dirt cheap. So they treated them like they were like the supporting cast, little roles. End up happening that they actually had a nickname and that Legion of Boom and that they actually had personalities and that wrecked everything. So when it came to give up the money, you know, well, no, you do that with your quarterback, but he can't be acting like his head is stuck all the way up him. That's the problem. No, your quarterback's gonna always get the shine if you win. Yeah, quarterback's always gonna get the shine because that's the way it goes. But the divide was real there and it was felt. When you win and you do it the right way, people feel you. I knew people in Seattle that weren't feeling Russell. They had more love for King Griffey Jr. than for him. And he was the quarterback. So you take that how you want to take it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I knew I had a former work manager. She was white too. Told me point blank. And she was a big Seattle sports fan. She said, those are rumors when they was talking about Russell going to the New York Giants. She says, I hope he goes. But she loved Griffey Jr. Didn't care for Russell. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Cause he just came across generic. He can play. I like the way, he's a good quarterback. I still defend him. I still think he's a first ballot. I still think he'll be a Hall of Famer, and I like Russell. But he was too corny. He tried too hard. He acted too much. Turned a lot of people off. And he went to Denver and got cocky because I remember where they were on that airplane and he wanted to have a certain amount of section. He was doing some mess he was doing. Then he set up his offices in Denver where he had a special desk and all that craziness. I mean, um, I think his durability is his most underrated skill. He don't really get hurt. He was very durable. There you go. Very adaptable to the weather and the conditions. I also think people don't understand the validity of his arm strength. It's that big power boom he throws, which is probably his most underrated attribute. Because he gets something on if that ball. He will throw booms on you. That's probably what he's really most underrated is throwing the booms. How he impacts both sides of the ball. Guys play for him. The totality. You can tell they don't want to disappoint him. He has got that kind of reach. And plus, you're playing with greatness and you're seeing something, you know. He really has that but when your coach comes up on the stage to take your awards in your behalf, do I need to say more? Did you ever see Belichick do that for Brady? Did you see Tony Dungy do that for Peyton Manning? Think about it. That's the respect. Because that's why when we have talks about Andy Reid, we can say Andy Reid's at the table with the greats of the greats as far as coaches. That's the reality. Show me one coach that's gonna do that for LeBron James. Okay. I'm not surprised. I watch his videos and I wouldn't be surprised about nothing. He been tampered. That's not a surprise. He's one of those guys that saw a lot, heard a lot, went through a lot early on. So it happens a lot more in that industry more than you can imagine. Yeah, he's on a lot of stuff, but he talks in codes though. He be talking in codes. I pick up what he be saying. You would be too if you had to grow up in that industry. She'll never tell it though. She'll be in denial. She'll never tell the truth. 'Em. Yeah. But again, that's the sacrifices a lot of them make. It's what they gotta do. It's a cutthroat business, and if you don't play ball, then go find someone else who will. She was an okay singer. She had a cute face. I don't know how bright it would have been in terms of Hollywood because, again, I don't know what they would have done with her. She had a personality as a kid, but it didn't get really untapped talent that didn't really get that next level. So we don't really know. But I do think she had something there, though. Definitely. Definitely. Mhm. 11 likes. What you mean by 11 likes? I'm not going to argue with you. I said, I hope. I'm not making no forecast until we get to the playoffs. I can't say nothing because I don't know. And I don't have no false illusions. See? So you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm not gonna argue. Can't say they're the best in the AFC till we get to the games. They look good, but you gotta finish. Okay. Uh he's in the argument, but I'd have to say Shaquan Barkley for MVP. I have to say Shaquan for MVP. Well, that's fine. I'm not gonna argue. It's hard to argue against a guy who camps out in the AFC Championship game the totality of his career in Patrick Mahomes. Guy's got 3 rings. He's been to 4 Super Bowls. We haven't been to one since the '90s. So how am I gonna argue with that? No, he's entitled to his opinion. It's hard to argue against dominance. But I look crazy until we beat them and go. Because you gotta remember something. Mahomes has camped out. Think about it. He be playing when the Super Bowl halftime show goes on half his career, over half his career. Think about it. The man, 6 seasons, 6 AFC championship games. Lost to New England, lost to Cincinnati, 4 of 'em in the Super Bowl. How am I gonna argue with that start of a career? How can you? Yeah, and what's your point? Happen, but I'll take going to them 4 every day. Because whoever your team is, I don't think you've had that luxury. And I'd rather have gone than never to have known. If you're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, you'll never know what that experience is like so far. Think about it. I can tell you some teams that don't have what we've had. So they don't know what it's like. But we'll see. We'll see. But if we do go, you're gonna have to buy you a ticket or you're gonna have to be watching us on TV. Now, you wanna be smart, you might be in for a rude awakening. I'm not saying nothing because I'm gonna see it all plays out. That's my team, but I'm not gonna say nothing until it all plays itself out. See, I don't have to boast or brag or say nothing till it plays out. I got the utmost respect for Patrick Mahomes. You can ask anybody who follows me, comes on. I tell you, he's the GOAT quarterback. He's there with Brady and Montana. I don't have anything. And Andy Reid is one of the top 4 or 5 greatest head coaches ever. I'm not taking nothing away from that. Kelsey's one of the greatest tight ends. I'm not taking nothing away because I'm very well aware of history. And we are dealing with historical implications here. We're not dealing with somebody that is, uh, you know, he's real. So you're not saying nothing that's going, you can crack all the jokes you want. I've been a Bills fan. I didn't heard them all. If Mahomes goes and wins, I hope he do. Three-peat would be incredible. He's dominant. They're 11-1 right now. He wins. So, you know, he's a unique talent. So, what you want me to say? But if we go and we play, have that same energy. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, this is where you sound like a troll. So I know you're just desperate for saying something now. If they don't win and don't go deep, but the man is 10-2 right now, I think you need to take a peek at what you're saying. He's not Aaron Rodgers, okay? He's not Tua, and he's not anything that's on the New England Patriots. So anyway, I think I'm gonna get ready to ease on up. I gotta get some more questions on him before I roll. I got some comedians coming on. It's comedy night. I didn't even bring nothing. People up here want to be comedians. Got something to say. Yeah, you just trolling now. Brady don't need to come out of retirement for nothing. He's doing quite well for himself. And we got a quarterback that's legit. So I am not going to entertain. Go. So we got some comedians. Well, we'll see what happens. It should be coming up fairly soon, genius. I guess 10 and 2 doesn't mean anything. So we'll see. And it probably doesn't. You see, the thing is that you're not getting is this. I'm not arguing with you and I'm not getting loud with you. I'm agreeing because I'm not satisfied. I've been down this road before. So I'm not arguing with you. I want to see how it all plays out. So before you crack jokes and think that you're being a comedian, even though your jokes are falling flat, um, let's see how it all plays itself out. I'm not saying anything. I'm giving Mahomes, I am definitely humbling where Mahomes is concerned. I'm not saying anything to the contrary. You up here acting like I'm saying that the Bills gonna do this, do that. I'm saying let it all play out. Yeah. Well, you think you is. I mean, to me, you about as dry as that Vice President Vance trying to crack a joke at the White House. Bottom line is this: let the thing play itself out. You know, if he goes, he goes. If he don't, he don't. I'm not gonna lose no sleep one way or the other. I like them to do something. They should do something. Oh, this is what this was about. Well, see, this is where you out your element. He sucks and he old and he need to retire. The Lakers ain't gonna do nothing, and you got to get used to that. That's what this was all about. I'm gonna stay hating on him. Tell him to stop bringing his no playing son on the basketball court. We won't have no problem. Stop holding Anthony Davis. Stop holding that team hostage. They're Laker fans who can't even stand watching that mess every night. But you do what you got to do because y'all need comedy view. Y'all got comedians on that team. LeBron is done. Got lucky last night. One for old meathead coach for Utah. You lost that game. He sucks. He has no business on the NBA court except if it's a movie. And it's called garbage time. Not starting time, but garbage time. He is embarrassing. Besides, LeBron got to be worried about them Diddy parties. Then he got to go ahead and go to court because ain't nothing like a Diddy party. Yeah, he keeps stat padding and playing and sucking up. I'm going to keep talking till he retire. And besides, the NBA don't need him no more. And that's funny. With what? They can't even win an in-season tournament cup. Remember that? That's the only trophy y'all gonna get. You ain't beat no OKC. You ain't coming out no West. Stink. Struggling with Utah last night. Struggling with Rudy Pooty teams without a star on them. Ah, Diddy ain't getting out no time soon. Diddy done. Diddy ain't getting out unless he snitch. Unless he gives up some big fish. That's the only way he gonna see it. He done. But anyway, I like having comedians on. It's funny. Trolls. Got nothing else better to do. Hyping up LeBron, hyping up Diddy, hyping up. I mean, I ain't got no problem with the Mahomes thing. I give you that. That's the only smart, logical thing I didn't heard yet. Because Mahomes is the truth. But this other nonsense, please. Since everybody has really left already, I think it's about my time to hit stage exit doors. I've been on here long enough. I'm out. Peace. Thanks for everybody that came through. Appreciate y'all. Catch you next time. Peace. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Stay woke. I'm out.